A long-running high school. Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Look at that. Our producers behind the scenes giving us a new little musical twist and fade there for the 757 Sports Talk intro. I am Matt Hatfield. The other guy is the coach Ed Young. As we talk to you before 8 a.m. Eastern, as we have to get the sleep out of our eyes on this Saturday. I have to do the show early because of my trip to Princess Anne Litter today for the 7-on-7 Battle at the Beach tournament. We had Philip Sims on the show last week. We got a jam-packed show last week. If you missed any of it, it's up on our podcast page. It's available on Apple, Spotify, VirginiaPreps.com, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those different places, or as Insta Snap, Twitgram, all those things as Ed likes to call it. We had Daryl Wood, the horse racing expert. We had Russell Savage, the autograph guru, if you will, all kinds of folks with us. But good morning here, Edward. How are you today?
Doing fine. Make sure we let the people know who did the best in the Derby, even over Mr. Wood, was Mr. Young.
Mr.
I had
Wood.
2 of the 3 horses. Was it Sierra Leone? And Forever Young finished
Forever
second
on.
and third. Nobody got the first place horse.
Nobody. Not a soul in America. Nobody had Mystic Dandy, which I'm hearing, by the way, now through the grapevine. I think it won't be announced till Monday, is not going to run in the Preakness. Will run in the Belmont, the third leg of the Triple Crown, but will not run in the Preakness. Does that upset you? Does that bother you? Does that disturb you? Does that, put a damper on your day?
Does not push the needle whatsoever.
Yes, it does. Don't lie.
I'm not
Tell the
picking
truth,
him.
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I wouldn't pick him in the Preakness. I'm not going to pick him in the Belmont. It's a wide open field. You're going to have 3 different winners this year for the 3 big Triple Crown races. It's just the nature of the ponies. So
Nature of the
don't
ponies.
see it happening. Also, I had a first yesterday. It took me 3 hours and 14 minutes to go 11 miles. Because of a fortunate accident, very unfortunate, we had a fatality out on 58. Traffic in Suffolk yesterday morning was worse than LA traffic, which is like every day. But it took me 3 hours and 14 minutes to go 11 miles, probably 2 hours to go about 4 miles. Set in traffic. It was so bad, I was stuck in front of a 7-Eleven, ran out of my car into 7-Eleven, bought 2 lottery tickets, a soda, and some smokes for the dude behind me, and ran back out in my car, and it never moved.
Smokes. You should have done that. It's not healthy.
It wasn't for me. It's for the dude behind me. He said, "Hey, yo, man, you going in there?" I said, "Hey, watch my car out." And he said, "What do you need?" He said, "Well, I'm going to get some cigarettes." I said, "Well, hold on. You watch the car. I'll go get the cigs for you." Now, I'm not a cigarette person, but the dude watched my car, made sure nobody took it anywhere. So that's the kind of traffic it was. And then the other rumor was I ordered Uber Eats, and they asked where to deliver it. I said, on Wilroy Road.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I said, I'll be the black Charger behind the dump truck. And I think by the time it came, I'd moved 6 spaces up. So it was easy for the Uber Eats guy to find me. So it was quite an experience. And then it got really, really hot, and it's sunny. I was, where the car stops, the sun was. So I thought, well, I'm going to do some multitasking. So I worked on my summer tan. So the report you heard about the new dude in the car was nothing bad, crazy. It was just a chance to work on my tan as the sun came in. Yeah, that's a hard sight to kind of get rid of. But 3 hours and 14, missed my whole first block class. Now, I wasn't the only one.
This was the guy I saw on the news this morning. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one. But yeah, it was quite an experience.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sad to hear about the fatality. It's awful. Prayers out to those, or if it was more than one, or well, whoever it was,
One
family,
person,
one person, okay,
apparently.
that individual's family. A lot going on in the world of sports as we try to recalibrate here from your trip to Wilroy Road, clothed or not clothed.
I asked Siri what was the quickest way, and she said, um, it, "Best to go to hell home." I was like, "Wow, I didn't know they could."
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
Gary
what
told you that? Yikes.
Siri told me that.
Hey, we were at, as you saw to start the show, we were at the Admirals game on Wednesday, the playoff
Yes.
game, round number 2 here, Kelly Cup playoffs. They took a loss again after losing in overtime 2-1 on Wednesday to Adirondack. They were able to erase a 2-0 deficit, as you saw moments ago on our ticker that scrolls across on Cova Sports TV. Wherever you're tuning in, we thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, all over the web. And now the series is tied at 2 apiece. Game number 5 this evening at Scope. And I've commented to you early in the first 5-6 minutes of the game. The Admirals are having a very fine season, and we love what Coach Carr has done at the helm. We had him on early in the season after he spoke at the Virginia Beach Sports Club. The thing that concerns me a great deal here, Ed, right now is watching that this Adirondack team looks a lot better than the team they played the last round number 1. Transition, they got out early in it. The Admirals had numerous chances in game 3, as I'll make the analogy here in a moment with an NBA playoff game number 3. These series can turn when you think you're about to go at 3-0, and all of a sudden it's 2-1, and now it's deadlocked, and all the momentum is gone. And even though you have home ice, game 6 and 7 are away. This is virtually a must-win because it's hard to envision them winning 2 again in Adirondack, even though it could replicate that, was it 2019 World Series of Nationals Astros where every team won on the road. That's not your typical situation, though. So they're going to need some of their goal scorers to step up. But right now, even more than their goal scorers to step up because it's hard for them to get close to the net and get clean looks. They've had 2-on-1s that just missed by a pitch. I'm not sure right now their goalkeeping is at the level where you feel super confident that they can win this series and take 2 of the next 3, because right now all the momentum is on Adirondack's side, and they might be just a smidge more talented as a group than the Admirals, taking nothing from them, having a fine year, great crowd again, 6,000 plus, I understand, last night. I saw more people who were at the game on social media, on Facebook, and again, I'm just judging on Facebook, last night, friends of mine and those that I know, than when we saw Wednesday, because it felt like a light crowd when we got there Wednesday, but it filled up pretty quickly. Your reaction to what you saw, I know you mentioned to me you really liked how Adirondack skated, and you thought it was going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, Wednesday, I think the crowd was announced around 4,900.
I think it was 6,000 plus last night. Yeah.
Last night was much more, which is really good. Adirondack, again, I'm not a hockey aficionado, but Adirondack is a little bit bigger than the team they had played from Canada before, a lot more physical. They had 3, what I call henchmen in that lineup that will knock you out if they have the chance to do so. When I look at the Admirals, they're a smaller, probably younger team, very quick on the skates. And they had the shots. I don't know what it was last night, but Wednesday they had like 55 shots on goal. And it was only able to come out with, was it 1 goal on Wednesday?
Yeah.
1 goal. And you're right. It makes tonight at home a must win. Because if you go down 3-2, going back to Adirondack, you're going to have to win 2 in a row to win the series. And I'm not sure they can do that. Adirondack, I guess, was the number 1 team in the division for this season. So they are legit. They do have a history of winning. But, I'm not going to put nothing past the Admirals, but tonight is a must win. And I might have to make that appearance again because it could be the last hockey game of the year.
Oh, you're gonna make a third appearance. Wow.
I think so. I've really enjoyed watching him play. And, the game is not forever. It doesn't. Some people said they don't like hockey because it lasts too long. No, it doesn't. And Wednesday, we got to see some overtime hockey, but still, the atmosphere is good. It's fast moving. I like it. I really do. I like it and become an instant fan real quick. By no means an expert. Still don't know some of the rules of it, but trying to pick it up. But it's good, and it's a good crowd, and they have a lot of really serious fans.
Did you happen to catch what happened as I transitioned that from the hockey here locally to any of the NHL or NBA playoff action from Friday night? There was an overtime game in the NHL. A series got evened up. And in the NBA, there was a blowout and there was one tight ball game. And you probably thought it'd be maybe the other way around, perhaps.
Yes.
As a road team took care of business in the late game. Early game went down to the wire, and a guy hit, as you saw in our ticker moments ago, his only 2 shots of the game in the last 2 minutes, that being Andrew Nembhard, the hero, Gonzaga ties for the Indiana Pacers, as Rick Carlisle's bunch cuts that to a 2-1 Knicks series lead. The Knicks, walking wounded mashed squad, if you will, right now, are they. And with them being a walking wounded mashed squad, Jalen Brunson did play. No OG Anunoby's got the hamstring. Already they're missing Bogdanovich. They're missing Mitchell Robinson. Randall was out before the playoffs even started. And it looked like Tibbs and the Knicks were about to steal. I say Tibbs. Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks were about to steal game number 3 up 9 in the fourth quarter, but they could not hold on. And much like the Admirals situation, you wonder, and they're not at home for game 4. They're in Indiana with a quick turnaround on Sunday afternoon. You do wonder aloud and if they will recover in time before it could get even up to 2-2 before it returns to MSG in the Garden. Meanwhile, people were throwing dirt and burying the Denver Nuggets after 2 home losses, and they responded in convincing fashion with Jamal Murray punching 18 of his 24 points in the first half as they blitzed the Timberwolves, got up 30-plus in that game on Friday night. So Anthony Edwards, the comparisons to Michael Jordan, can thankfully stop for at least 24 hours, we hope. And he's a great player, taking nothing from Anthony Edwards, but my gosh, can we stop with these comparisons and prisoner of the moments? My goodness, a little much for me. But did you catch any of those highlights? Because I believe my sources informed me that you were out on the town in Hampton Roads on Friday night, honky-tonking, which you tend to do. So,
well, I didn't go to honky-tonk. I had an opportunity to see one of my favorites in the music world. That was Uncle Charlie Wilson concert at Chartway Arena on the campus of Old Dominion. And third time seeing Uncle Charlie live, always puts on a good show. And after having that almost 3 hour plus sit in the car yesterday morning, I needed to get out. I did see, I watched, saw the highlights of New York, Indiana. I figured, just like you, I figured Pacers pretty much an absolute favorite for this game. And I did think it would be a little bit bigger deficit than what the Knicks had. And the Knicks, boy, just injuries and hurts and ouches and, you just don't know how they're putting it together. And I had picked the Knicks in 7 in that series. Still going to stick with that. The other one was Denver. Obviously, I didn't think they would manhandle Minnesota as bad as they did, but they actually gave a better representation of themselves than they did in the first 2 games. Some people were thinking Minnesota in a 4-game blowout. I started thinking Minnesota in 6. I had picked Denver in 7 to begin with, but Minnesota proved that they really are a younger team and did do some things well. But it was more Denver playing like Denver in terms of what they can do. Anthony Edwards definitely had an off night. I thought on some of the parlays, I thought I was going to go with Anthony Edwards. I had to get out of there quick because
we have the Ed Young special parlay. Is that what we're going to have? Maybe we get the Ed Young special parlay sponsored by somebody here on the program.
It would be good to do it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a little shaky on buying. So, and I'm only doing pennies to the dollar where I know somebody else is doing a lot of dollar signs to the dollar, and I'll leave it at that. I'm still going to stay with Denver in 7.
So am I.
Yeah,
I caution people. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee, but I felt like they just quickly buried this team way too soon. And people are mad that Jamal Murray played in game number 3. But you know what? And he should have probably come up and been more remorseful and apologized. I do admit that you can't throw a heat pad, any object onto the floor. You got fined $100,000 though. Michael Malone's the one that put the chip on their shoulder, and he's a very, very darn good coach. I think he's one of the best in the NBA, and they had that chip last year, and it works to their advantage. So put the chip on the shoulder, and that's what they're going to use because people don't want to see the Nuggets. Like the Spurs in the early 2000s, people think they're boring, they're not glamorous, They're not sexy, if you will. So, that's what they are. And they just go about their business. With the Jokic, a guy who rides a horse as their superstar, international player who's not, born in the US of A.
And he won his third MVP title in 4 years.
And Shaq, by the way, I love Inside the NBA with Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and EJ. I saw it later. I didn't see it live. Totally out of line with Shaq. I don't know if you saw. He basically, Joker comes up there and he's like, "Oh, they should go to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for MVP after he mumbles for 5 minutes." Like, stop it, Shaq. Come on. Just because you're mad and bitter you didn't get it one year when Steve Nash took it from you, whoever it was took it from you, doesn't mean you want to, rain on this guy and poop on this guy's moment. That was just totally unnecessary and very, very small of the big man, Shaquille O'Neal.
I agree with you. You don't tell the person who won it, basically, you didn't deserve it, and this guy did. You can say that behind closed doors, or say to the face of the nation when he's not on their show. And I like Shaq too. And sometimes I think Shaq does have this feeling of people forget, hey, I was the dominant player. I was the best big man in history. First of all, Shaq, you were not the best big man in history of NBA. You were darn good, but there's no way you're better than Wilt Chamberlain. Period. And there's some people that want to put Olajuwon in there too. Olajuwon was definitely a better fundamental player than Shaq. Shaq was just so powerful as a player, brought down backboards and whatever. But and he is tremendous. But to say that in front of him, it definitely was. And now I understand Shaq and Shannon Sharp have a so-called beef, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I think it was a rap diss or something. Yeah,
because of Drake and Kendrick Lamar having their rap battle right now, diss records and all this. Now, it could be something set up behind the scenes, but they're trying to make it like it's real. I don't know. Anytime involving Sterling, anytime involving some of them two, who knows really what it is and whatever. But I did say there was a little spoof of Kevin Hart playing all the characters. I don't know if I sent that to you. Saw that where Kevin Hart played Shaq, Charles Barkley.
I think you did. Yeah, he's done that before. I don't think I'm a little bit like, as I transition this into something else. Kevin Hart was one of the, I don't know if he was the host or MC. I haven't seen all of our clips.
He was the host.
Well, no, of the Tom Brady roast that just took place.
I think he was the MC.
Now, are you one that thought it was hilarious? You thought it was unnecessary, over the top? What was your feeling on that roast without getting in?
I've not watched the whole thing.
Okay.
It was 3 hours, which probably was too long. I'm an old fan of the back of the day Dean Martin roast with some of the
those were great. The celebrity roasts, Milton Berle. You get all kinds of people on there. Yeah,
the guys that are long gone
Ball. Yeah, you have who's who. What's my man besides Dean Martin was on it all the time? Ruth Buzzy was great. All kinds of great. Those commercials were great for that too.
The from the pickups that I've got out of it, way too much cussing. I thought.
Now, there were a couple funny jokes. I'm not going to lie. So I'm not going to go mad dog on this and be Mr. Old, get off my lawn, old man, which is what you do. So I'll let you do that. But it was a little over the top, I thought.
I like some of it that I saw. I thought was good, but I just thought way too much cussing in it. And a kind of bad taste with Jeff Ross wearing the O.J. Simpson bloody jersey.
That's a little much. And the Bob Kraft joke with Bob Kraft being there was a little.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez.
Brady didn't like that at all. Brady went nutso on that one. So
yeah, and the Angel Hernandez reference jokes, I didn't think that was necessary.
You know what Brady got? You know what Brady got for that?
Was it $3-4 million?
No, someone said he got like $50 million. Which if that's insane. The fact that he got million and he's already a multi-millionaire, probably bordering billionaires, just to be roasted for 3 hours is a little much.
Now, maybe what he has done with it, because Brady's done this in the past, maybe that money went to charity or whatever. And that's probably when you do roasts like that, they should be sending the money to a couple of different charities, to be honest with you, make it better. But I am planning on watching the whole roast, but the bits and pieces. I know Mad Dog Russo, he killed it.
Yeah, I saw that the other day when I was on with Stephen A. on First Take on ESPN.
Yeah, he killed it.
We got a lot to do on this abbreviated episode of 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. You'll hear from some football players at some football showcases. We're going to roll that out the next few weeks. In fact, as we have some time here, I think we've got I've got up to 3 loaded. We might squeeze in 2 today. We'll see how it goes. Been at different places like Maury, Green Run, Oscar Smith, Phoebus, you name it. We've got our first mailbag on the podcast. It's something we did a couple times on radio. We're going to start rolling out mailbags to go with our fact or fiction, buy or sell segments that we like to do. No live guests today. However, I did catch up for a recorded clip that you will see when we come back with the new head basketball coach at Nansman River, and it's Ed Young's former JV coach. We had a lot of good things to say about him. That is Joe Hassell, who started Indian River High School in Chesapeake, played at Randolph-Macon and Chewan, and that's coming your way next on Cova Sports TV. So I'm sure Edward will be listening with, he'll be waiting for it with bated breath, but listening with
Bated breath.
both ears up, the antennas up to see what Joe had to say, good, bad, or indifferent about Ed, but actually it's not so much about Ed here. It's about his new situation. So I know you're happy. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, after you watch the clip when we come back from break with that. But a lot to do here on the program today. And we've got some sponsors that help pay the bills. And I know Ed loves the sponsors. He's been to half these places and he'll probably frequent them again in the very near future.
That's an absolute definite.
So stay tuned. Back in just a moment on Cova Sports TV at 757 Saturday Sports Talk with the young guy or the old guy and Mr. Hatfield. It's me with my piano in the background, fireplace, and all kinds of neat memorabilia, paraphernalia, and luxurious items. Back in a moment. There's Vinny. Hey, Vinny. See you in a moment, Vinny.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
All right, we have a special guest with us, streaming on virginiapreps.com, all over the web, YouTube, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that, with us on 757 Saturday Sports Talk 2. Matt Hatfield here with you, and we have the new head basketball coach at Nansman River High School in Suffolk. He's got the Nansman River basketball polo on there with the Nike swoosh too. Joe Hassell is with us. Joe, congratulations on the new gig as the head man. You've got to be pretty excited and pumped.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the congratulations.
Tell me about what drew you to this position, and we'll get into your background about your playing days. You have ties to the 757. You played college basketball. You have an older brother who was a standout in the area at Old Dominion as well. But what drew you to Nansman River, and ultimately you taking this job?
So at first I was at Indian River as the head JV coach, and then there was a transition in the coaching position there. And I spoke with Coach Young, and he brought me on his staff. And, you know, Nansman River has always had a rich tradition of winning. Even when I was playing, I know there were a lot of people who feared Nansman River during those days. So it's a rich history. So to be a part of something like that, and a coach like Coach Young, who's done it for a while, very long time, and a lot of people has had a lot of respect for him. It was an easy decision for me when I spoke with him on joining his staff a couple years ago. And again, I thank him. I thank him big time for allowing me to have that opportunity.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for him, but I know he's extremely high on your abilities as a coach, as are many other coaches, high school and college around the area. I know Dave Macedo at Virginia Wesleyan, among them, just people that are really impressed with your future as a coach. For you, though, let's go back to the days, and we'll talk about what you did as a player in a moment, too, and the older brother of Frank. Indian River, at your alma mater, it looked like a couple years ago you might get that job. I thought you would. In that summer, they had a coaching change. You didn't get it. Was that at all a little bit of a frustrating moment or a growth point for you as a coach? And bringing you to Nance River, what did you learn in that process under Coach Young, a guy who's won 500-plus games? You were his JV coach, varsity assistant the past couple of years. Take me through that and how you've kind of grown from that, which could have been a setback for you at that time.
So it was a very frustrating situation for me with just like you thought that I was getting. A lot of people told me they did that, and then at the end of the day, it wasn't my decision. So it was a very frustrating time, and I would say like my first couple of months here, it still sat with me, But I think the main thing that Coach Young has taught me with growth is that like you can't control everything. That's a situation that happened. Okay, so you move on. You make the best out of the next situation. So that's something that I have kept in my mind, something that I've been pushing ever since it did happen. And I'm at a better place. I'm past it. Another thing Coach Young has pretty much pushed for us, pushed for me or our coaching staff, is being able to just understand everything isn't for you. So at that time, that wasn't for me, and I'm at a place that now is for me.
Well, and it's going to be great to see what you can do here. Following a guy that's viewed as was one of the top coaches around for many, many years, 500-plus wins. He openly pushed for you. And speaking with him, we put out there, what did that mean to you, A, and then B, in the whole interview process? Was there at all any doubts like, all right, I've been through this before at another school in the Southeastern District. I don't want to get my hopes up. What did you say in hoping to land the job? What was your selling points? Because I'm sure they had some tough questions, and you wanted to show that you were the best candidate for the situation.
So the main thing I kind of focused on was just I know how I want to run a program. I believe in how I run a program, or how I'm going to run a program. I've been in a couple of different places of not just coaching, but also playing. I've been able to see the bright spots. I've been able to see the negatives. And I've been a part of a very winning program at Randolph-Macon College, who it is a D3, I ain't gonna say powerhouse, but they always in the national rankings in Division III. And that has taught me a lot in itself. But then when I'm able to go to the Indian River and learn things, and I was able to learn a lot of things here at Nansemond River. So putting all that together, seeing how people interact or interactions with players, seeing how everyone kind of comes together. Like I made a real good push at how I run a program and explain it really well and thorough. And they decided I was the best candidate from there. And that at times it was a little bit nervous, like we don't know what's going to happen because it's happened before. So.
A few minutes here with Joe Hasselli. He's the new head basketball coach at Nansemond River, a former standard, as he mentioned, Indian River High School, Randolph-Macon. I'll say it for you, D3 power. They won a national championship in the last 5 years. And also, I believe he played at, was it Shawan College, Division II in North Carolina? Our guest here. Tell us more about your background. You played at Indian River. Older brother Frank played there. Went on to Old Dominion. What else? And was your first coaching stop at Indian River as an assistant? How did you get into coaching from when you were done playing?
So my very first year after leaving Indian River, I received a full ride to play at Shawan. And the very first college game, I tore 3 ligaments in my right ankle. And I actually still played the whole season. And I had to just get cortisone shots every like 3 or 4 weeks.
3 torn ligaments?
Yeah, 3 torn ligaments. And like every like 2 or 3 weeks, I would get cortisone shots, so I couldn't feel it. So I had to buy size 4. I wear 13 with size 14 and a half. So I'm able to get my ankles taped, put an ankle brace. I can't feel anything just to be able to play. But I played the whole year, except for until the very last couple of games I didn't play there. And I really damaged my ankle doing that. And like I said at the time, I didn't really understand how important your body is. I just wanted to win. I wanted to play. So the following year, my ankle was not okay. So I just set out, rehab my ankle, and my high school coach, Coach Mabry, kind of gave me a call and was like, just come out here and see what's going on. And so I was a student, a regular student at the time, and I went out, talked to Coach Mabry, and I ended up being on his bench that year. So I ended up, because that was an NBA lockout year, yeah. So I ended up training my brother a lot, training with him a lot, and then being an assistant coach until I got a call, hey, come check, ran up making out from Coach Davis. I went and checked it out. The rest is history.
Yeah, you've had some pretty good mentors. You mentioned Coach Davis there, and Coach Mabry. You've been with Coach Young here. What has Joe Hassell learned from the playing days, and how is he different as a coach when you play? Because when you go from player to coach, that's always a transition. But how have you changed, and how do you view the game differently than when you played and when you were having I'm sure the backyard battles with Big Bro Frank?
Yeah. So it's so playing is a little different. Whereas I can control what's going on. Like if I know if I don't snap my wrist on the shot, I know how to adjust. Whereas as a coach, it's not me, it's the player. So I have to be able to give them or feed them exactly what they need in order to put them in the best light, put them in the best positions. I think the difference for me, playing wise, is me doing it. Like I'm actually doing, where coaching wise is more of a chess game. So I have to create strategies to figure out what they're doing, the other team, and make adjustments so we have the upper hand. So it's a back and forth chess game, and then playing, is way more physical. Also, as a player, like I was zoned out, so I really didn't hear the crowd. I really didn't hear anybody else. Like it was like nobody else was in the gym except for my team and their team. Whereas in coaching, it's similar, but I still hear more. I can see what's going on more, and I have to pay attention to my surroundings a little more.
Last two for you, Joe. Thank you for your time. What would you tell the fans out there, the Nansemond River fans out there? You know how competitive the Southeastern District's been from when you played at Indian River, and the Suffolk rivalries, what they mean when Nansemond and Kingsport get together, Nansemond and Lakeland, Kingsport, Lakeland, the whole bit. What would you tell the fans they can expect from you and your program here moving forward? And I don't think you guys are that far off. You made the regionals last year in a very tough 5B, so it's not like you got to build this thing from scratch, essentially, right?
Right. And we had a young group last year as well. Well, a mixed group, but a lot of half the guys were younger. So we were bringing back a lot of those younger guys, and excitement. We're going to bring some excitement. So we want you to come out and see the show, see what we're going to bring. We're going to be fast, be physical. I want to bring back that stigma of people are afraid of the Hampton River, because I know when I played, that's how it used to be. When Nick Wright and Andre Jones, even down Marquis Cook. So when those guys played, I know Hampton River was the top dog, and I want to bring that back.
I was supposed to say, when you played, was that was the big rivalry game? Because obviously they had a run. Kingsport had a run with Parker and Gardner and Copeland and Wirtz and those guys, and Deep Creek had Mike Scott. It felt like there'd be 2 or 3 games every year where it's like, gosh, this is. And right now, I think that's kind of true of the Southeastern. Kingsport's been to states, Oscar Smith's been to states, Western Branch has been there, and you guys aren't that far off. Philosophy-wise, you mentioned the excitement thing. Anything that people can expect it'll be more similar or different in terms of how you move forward into this new era with the Warriors? What would you tell people in regards to that?
So I think, especially with the talent that we have, younger guys that we have, but I think we are able to get up and down a little more on the floor. We have some guys who can knock the tray ball down. So want to play a little quicker. Got to be more physical. I know that's something that we lacked. So we will be physical. We will play fast. We will play hard, and it'll be exciting games to come see.
Well, keep an eye on the Warriors from Nansemond River High School in Suffolk this winter and beyond. 2024-2025 season will be here before you know it with Joe Hassell at the helm. All the best to you. Thanks so much. We look forward to what's in store for you and the group out in Suffolk.
I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar IV Hydration and Vitamin Therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
Admirals just scored, Ed Young, and how do you feel?
We're back on track. It was a matter of time. We're outscored. We're out shooting them. We scored. Yeah.
He's got his Notre Dame hockey jersey on, too.
I don't wear a white jersey. It's all I got right now.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. You heard from the Nansemond River head basketball coach Joe Hassell. And we've got some more interviews for you, a couple of football players. But real quickly, your thought on what your former JV coach now at the helm of the Warriors had to say there, Ed?
I think Joe's going to be all right. It's still really, really tough for me to grasp. I'm not coaching Nansemond River anymore. I mean, I've gotten over it, but it's still hard to grasp. And I'm sitting here listening to the head coach at Nansemond River, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I thought that was me. But I am very happy for Joe when I found out that I was not being welcomed back. That one of my second biggest thought was that Joe would get the opportunity. And for a while there, I didn't think it was going to happen that way. But circumstances ended up where, without question, he was the best candidate for it. In terms of being in the program, he's done a great job. He's done it. The JVs have won games, which is not easy. To win as a JV coach and do it the right way is not easy because my expectations on my JV coach are pretty rough. And Joe had a hand in a lot of things, if not everything, in the program in order for me to get him ready, try to get him ready, so to speak, to get his first opportunity. Little did I know would be to replace me, but once again, I think he's going to be all right. He knows the kids. I talk with the guys every day, and they're very happy that he got it. And almost to a guy, they were like, Coach, we were worried that they'd be bringing someone from the outside and make changes where we don't need them, don't need changes. And I thought it was pretty insightful for the kids because Joe's not taking over a downtrodden bad program. He just going to try to get the opportunity to take it higher than what I could do with it. And I think giving him time, he will. Now, when he talks about being physical, and him and I have had these talks, we talk every day. Joe's really good about that. We talk every day. That's a challenge. We don't have those physical type kids at Nansemond River, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Playing fast, quick is important, but you got to have an end result to that to make that work. But Joe's going to be all right. The JV, we got some good JV talent coming, just needs time to mature, and he'll win in time. Like I said, he was the perfect guy, mentality-wise, especially. He's a teacher in the building for that job. And but like I try to also tell him now, it's a little different from when you're an assistant coach in a program, and then you take over as head coach. It's a learning process. It's almost better to leave as an assistant somewhere, go elsewhere, and then come back as a head coach after maybe a class or two has moved on, so that the mentality is a little different. Because as an assistant coach, a lot of times you're the bridge between players and coaches. Now he's on the other side of that bridge, and he has to be looked upon in a little different vein. Once he accomplishes that, and only time can help with that, he'll be okay.
And you only graduated, what, 2 senior starters? Is that right? Something like that?
2 senior starters, 3 seniors altogether. If everybody's back intact, they should be okay. I think the way we played kids last year, we had to think think it was 9 guys averaged 10 minutes or more a game. And we, by the end of the year, we had what we considered probably 7 starters, legit starters. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those kids will have to go. And this is for any program, any coach, kids that go from supporter roles to main roles. They have to be able to handle that. If not, you end up having a bad season. And then there's a couple kids off the JV squad that it depends on how they develop, because they're going to be asked to play extremely big minutes right off the bat. Mm-hmm. So it'll be important to see how they do it. But I think it's a tough region. You know better than anybody else. Tough region.
It is. And
that's not going to change. But I think I felt at the end of the year we would probably be at least a 15-win team next year, maybe 18. We can move up a little bit. Some teams are going to drop down a little bit in terms of the talent they're losing. But no way it's going to be a cakewalk, and we're going to be the number 1 team. And I still don't think it's going to be that way either. But they should win it, and I'm really praying that they'll get further than just the first round of regionals.
Sure. Well, Ed, we also have some sound from high school football athletes across the 757, been making those rounds have eye to college days. And we've got a lot of content with yours truly, my man Will Garlick at virginiapreps.com. Tell the ladies and gents out there, boys and girls, all the kiddies, adults, everyone, grandma, grandpas, what we have for them now on the program.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see now is one of these young, really great young players here in the 757 at probably by far the best team in the area, the Maury Commodores, and their ultra quick, superb defensive end, Ari Watford, is having this opportunity to speak to Matt here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Let's see what Matt and Ari had to talk about.
Ari with the Maury standout defensive end. He's a top 200 prospect in the country, and he's made his commitment to Clemson. Ari Watford here as it's May, and his senior season is closing. Ari, I feel old, man. I remember you were a 9th grade baby, Virginia Beach, Salem High School. Now you're getting ready to be a senior at Maury High School. How does it feel that you're getting close to the end of your high school journey before you go and play college football on Saturdays?
It feels crazy. I've been playing football since a kid. The journey been so long, but it's finally it's coming to an end. I just want to be sent out on a good note and give my guys a chip.
69 tackles a season ago for Maury, 7 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, helped the team go 15-0 and win a state championship with a tough schedule. What was the adjustment like going from Salem to Maury last year? Was it very similar or a lot way different? Well, give me your perspective on it.
It was way different for me.
Okay.
Coming from a team, guys, they already know the program, and I'm trying to fit in, just trying to catch up with the weightlifting and everything that I was lacking. It was pretty tough, but, my coaches and my teammates helped me get through it.
Your first high school game, you ever had 3 sacks, and you had some injuries freshman and sophomore year. Last year, you played pretty much injury-free, playing alongside another monster, and Fred J.R. Johnson was going down to South Carolina. What was the difference in your game from sophomore to junior year? What about individually? What kind of changed in your game, in your eyes, development-wise?
I started playing a run a bit more. I feel like I changed the narrative of what everybody thought. I was a pass rusher mainly, and my coach helped me become a run stopper. Yeah.
Did that put a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, that motivation? Because people have been saying a little bit, can he stop the run too? We know what a good pass rusher you were. Is that kind of the thing that motivated you going into last year?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Sure.
Just wanting to get better at my own game. Wanting to be better at all ends, all aspects. So.
Now you're all in. You're committed to Clemson, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the Tigers. What made you choose Dabo Swinney's group and that ACC program?
Similar to why I came to Maury, the program, and what it's been built on. I definitely respect all the coaches and everything, Coach Swinney, and the guys that's bought into it.
Was there a different vibe with Clemson to other schools that were in the 40, 50-plus schools? And what was that vibe like? Did you feel something genuine with Coach, the assistants? What was it like, and what's their plan for you?
Definitely genuine from everybody, the whole staff. You go in the trainer's room, and everybody will speak to you. Guys will speak to you around the facility and everything.
Now, you made the commitment. Was that back in, was it February, March? I forget when you made the
January.
June. Okay, January. Have there been schools still knocking on your door trying to get you to change? And where are you right now? Are you 100% committed?
I'm 100%.
Not considering anybody else? Okay. And now are you also working on some guys to join you at Clemson? And if so, who? Can you give us a couple names potentially?
No, sir.
No names?
I'm definitely trying to.
Okay. Anybody from the 757 or VA?
Of course.
So he's working on that too. A few more for you. All right. Let me ask you this. As far as you for a senior, now that you've got the commitment out of the way, do you play loose, like you don't have a lot of pressure on your weight off your shoulders? How do you go, or you're shaking your head no, you've still got something to prove this coming year?
Definitely still have something to prove, of course. I got something to prove to myself, and I feel like everybody else also. I just want to be a complete player in my last year. Finally bring in everything from the past years.
Was 15-0 winning a state championship what you thought it was, and now with the expectation to do it again, how much of a challenge is that? How big of a, to do that at Maury, which hasn't been done, I think, at a Norfolk School, go back-to-back, to my knowledge?
It's definitely difficult, but if with the right preparation and everything, you'll be fine.
And then the excitement of finishing up on a strong note to get ready to go to college, how much are you looking forward to that? And I know you're going to have some big challenges waiting for you when you get to the ACC in Clemson, correct?
Yes, sir. I'm definitely waiting for it. Been talking to my coach and everything. I'm just ready to come in and work,
Well, he's getting sacks, W's, and chasing another state championship more before he goes on to Clemson. Ari Watford, thank you so much. All the best.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that was Ari Watford of the Maury Commodores. He is now committed to play his college football at Clemson. He's one of a few different players for Maury, Ed, that has made a college commitment, along with the likes of new linebacker Carlton Smith, who's committed to Maryland. He just transferred into Maury during the offseason. Running back Leon Fatman Clark, who was a key cog for him last year, going to William & Mary. Trevon Speedy Cannon, who is committed to William & Mary, and LeBron Bond, wide receiver, who is committed to Indiana. Safety Kendall Daniels, we also caught up with. He's a safety, quarterback, do-it-all athlete. He has not made his commitment yet. He's got a top 8 that he put out a while back, which includes a couple of the in-state schools like UVA, Virginia Tech, and South Carolina. Was rumored to be his destination. He delayed his commitment. We shall see what's going to go on with Kendall. We might play that perhaps next week or in the weeks to come if he doesn't commit before then, here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. And our man Jack says that Maury team is insane. You're absolutely right, Maury. You're absolutely right, Jack. That Maury team is insanely talented, and they're not the only one. I'll tell you this right now. As much as it was Maury and everybody else, it felt like at times last year. And that's saying, Ed, with Phoebus winning a 3rd consecutive state title, and what an awesome job Jeremy Blunt and the Phantoms have done. They scrimmaged preseason. Maury won it fairly competitively, but it felt like Maury was just head and shoulders above everybody. I will tell you that I think Oscar Smith, Phoebus, Green Runners, a lot of good teams, Kings Fork this year. I think the football scene is going to be tremendous for folks all across the 757 to follow here this year. But your reaction to what Ari Watford had to tell us there, as he made the move from Salem to Maury and fit in quite well, and he'll be one of those centerpieces, linchpins of that defense this year before he goes down to play for Dabo and the boys at Clemson.
Well, the first thing I really liked about it was the kid's well spoken for, and he's not wavering on his decision. What I'm noticing a lot for colleges, more so than in the past, once kids make a mental decision, a verbal decision, there's still fair game to come after. Teams are still coming after players, I guess, until they sign it on paper to honor the commitment, which I really don't like. I think once a kid gives a verbal commitment to a school, you should stay off of it. Honor that, because you wouldn't want it done to your program, but that's not how it's being done at the college level. Back in the day, it kind of was that way. So I'm glad about that. I've not seen a kid play live. I know you talked a lot about him. He's very quick on the line, and he gets in there. And you know as well as I do, when they go to the college level, they got a great weight program. Clemson is one of the best in the country. He's going to be even better. Now, of course, he's going to play against much better competition too, but most of those times those kids are able to grow with that type of competition, especially from the physical standpoint, which is probably why a lot of times you'll see college kids sit out their freshman year, redshirt their freshman year to get bigger, to get climbed into that quicker, tougher, faster, stronger level, especially in football. And I think this kid will have numbers. I think this kid will probably vie for Defensive Player of the Year in the area. I think he's going to be in a lot of backfields. I think he's a type of lineman that can stand up and pick off a pass or two, and he can move. Yeah. He can run with it too. So I'm anxious to watch this kid. I think he's going to be a really good one. And who knows, down the road, he could be playing for pay on Sundays.
Well, he's got the pro frame at 6'6", 230 plus, 69 tackles, 7 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, and 3 forced fumbles as the Commodores went unbeaten wire to wire last season. By the way, before we take another break, and then we've got our first mailbag segment here on the podcast of 757 Saturday Sports Talk. We've got some questions from all you out there, and you're always welcome to send it to us. Send it to us via email. You can post it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X. We'll take your questions wherever you have them, even on our message boards on VirginiaPreps.com. I saw some questions that came in on Facebook last night. And if I missed some, we'll try to get to them in future weeks when we do it. We won't do the mailbag segment every week, just like we won't do fact or fiction or buy or sell every week, but we like to sprinkle it in when time allows and keep the show lively and hopping and moving, as they say. We did do trivia on our social page on 757 Sports Talk on X or Twitter, which Ed has not gotten on X or Twitter yet. I understand he is efforting Instagram. He is on Facebook, as everybody knows, who's a friend of his, trust me. He puts up enough stuff. Congrats to Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Was a good friend of mine. Still is. He got our. You want me to sing? Don't sing. Vinny says.
Well,
no.
see, this is where my lawyer agent friend here, Vinny Vanu. This is not allowed. It's not allowed. It's called a show killer. When Hatfield starts singing it, and I've been told this by our fans. It's not my opinion. Well, it is my opinion, but it's not the main reason. And it's in the contract, and this will be reasons for Hatfield to be let go, which I hate to do, but we've said it. And if he breaks contract, then Vinny said he's got to go.
Why you guys don't like my singing?
Well, you don't get paid for that. There's other people. Like I went last night and paid some shekels for Charlie Wilson. Now Charlie Wilson puts on a show. You ain't Charlie Wilson, so. Vinny is going to leave right now, and he's going to consult some of the authorities.
Tell Vinny to go fly a kite, okay? Tell Vinny go fly a kite, Vinny. Go fly a kite. It's a nice day out. It's 50, 60 degrees. Go fly a kite.
See, Vinny says he's a talker when he's distanced from me, but he wouldn't say that right to my face, and I don't think he would either, Vinny, because Vinny might be short in stature, but he's big on.
Tell it to Vinny. I'll say, Vinny, pow, right in the kisser is what I'll say to Vinny. As my hair's messing up today. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I need to put my hat back on. I got like a.
Yeah, you're looking like you crawled out from under the coffee table.
No, I didn't crawl out from under the coffee table during the last break. Before we go to break, though, I want to throw that trivia question to you and see if you know the answer to it, because I don't think you do. I don't think you do. We love trivia. I mean, listen, when we can give away stuff like a $50 gift certificate to Russell Savage's sports card, comic book, and collectibles expo show today, which you might see Ed Young at. You never know, ladies and gents. I'm not sure if he's in the autograph lineup with Bob Dandridge and all those other guys that are there, the Greyhound. But our question was, Mr. Young, our question last week after we ended the show, we wanted to get it on the show, but we ran out of time. We didn't, but we still put it up on social. We had some people guess. Some got it right. Well, actually, first guy got it right. He won the prize, Mr. Jeremiah. Other people guessed and they were incorrect. So let me throw it out there to the listening audience, the great people. As now I look for the question and I can't find it on the social pages. Wouldn't you know, I can't find it when I'm looking for it. That's how life goes, ladies and gents. Unbelievable. What is going on here?
Well, you're looking for it.
I know what the question was. Go ahead. While I'm looking for it, go ahead.
Tim Wolf, the Percival Tim Wolf.
Yeah, AD at Green Run now, or student activities coordinators for technical titles. We know Tim. He's in our mailbag coming up. We got his question. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had put a question out about winning his coaches or winning his program.
Yeah, it's coming up. Don't spoil it. So Don't spoil it as I try to fix my hair. Where's my hat? I need a hat. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah, you look like you're setting yourself up for a mug shot. Okay.
There we go. Cardinals, baby. That's how it works.
Yeah, and see, you covered something bad up with something worse. That's not.
Oh, now why would you say that?
I'm just, again, it's just the facts, baby, just the facts.
Yeah, no facts. All right.
Tim Wolf had a question. Are we going to answer Tim later, or are we going to answer Tim now?
We're going to answer him in the next segment, which is going to be the abbreviated final segment of our show today. But here's the trivia question. Trivia for the $50 gift certificate for next week's, or today's show, I should say, 757 Sports Cards and Collectibles show at the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse, which is right next to the Sportsplex. You want to have a good weekend with the kids. And by the way, got a big bouncy castle, which we're going to effort if he doesn't like deflate the bouncy castle. We want to have Ed Young and Vinny crawl through the bouncy castle. I'm telling you, that'd be great. We get one of those little GoPros, put it on you, and see how many kids can knock you over. That'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to that if we can make that happen. If Chuck and Nick out there are listening, we want to put you through the bouncy castle maze and watch all the kids like smack you around. That'd be great. But if you go to the Plex, you'll have some fun there. You got field hockey at the training center. our studio's there, and they're building more studios. They're just making us fancy schmancy over there. It's going to be awesome in the future, folks. We got football, soccer, lacrosse, all kinds of great things. And then next door, you got the Field House indoor facility, which has basketball and volleyball. And today they got the card show and autographs. But our question was for the $50 gift certificate that Jeremiah won. Name the only team in this year's NBA playoffs that did not have a lottery pick on its active roster during the first round. So I'll throw it to you and Vinny as you guys try to look it up through your little almanacs over there underneath the coffee table. What is the answer, sir? Name the only team in this year's NBA playoffs that did not have a lottery pick on its active roster during the first round.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and Jeremiah got it.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. I don't have time to look up stuff and even where to look that up in terms of who doesn't have.
That's why we spring it on you like that. We don't let you do like you do with the Tides games with the pizza with the pizza puzzle. We won't say who it's from, by the way, because they haven't sponsored our show yet. We love Chichos, by the way. And I will say this: if they want to, we'll do a puzzle for them. But Ed always cheats because he's got his little phone in his book out there, and he always calls it and gets his free pizza. But do you have a guess? Just take a stab at it.
My first inclination would be, now you said first round.
Yeah.
So the hint could be somebody that's already knocked out.
That could be the hint, but it could also mislead you, which I love to do. And I've been effective in the past, in the present, and in the future at doing that.
Yeah, you're good at that, misleading. Your life has been misleading for the most part. The answer wants to keep resonating in my head is Denver.
Really? No lottery picks?
No lottery picks.
You go down a roster. We got a minute. We don't have a lot of time. We got a minute or two if you want to do that. Go ahead. Give it a whirl. Give it a shot over there.
Djokovic, I don't think was a top 11 pick.
You sure about that?
He's the MVP in the league.
Okay, yeah, that's correct.
And Jamal Murray is probably their second best player. I don't think. And see, again, to be in a lottery,
you sure he wasn't a lottery pick, Jamal Murray?
You got to remember, to be in a lottery, you're one of the worst.
Can't be picked 7th overall, can you? And be in a lottery? You sure about that? 2016, 7th overall. That's lottery, right?
Lottery, yeah, that's lottery.
And Aaron Gordon was picked by the Magic in the lottery. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. See, I'm not thinking about guys traded.
Yeah, you're not going with Denver now, are you? Can we get the buzzer sound that said, you're incorrect?
Yeah, take Denver out of there.
Ed guessed Denver, folks. I mean, you believe he guessed Denver? They're saying, oh, here we go. We got the thing here now. Ed guessed Denver. What? Yeah.
Yeah. See, I used to know this.
We're gonna get that clip in our loaded in our queue in the future here. You give up, you don't know the answer.
No, everybody gets a second chance.
I'll give you 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Go ahead.
Two more. And I'm thinking, trying to rush through this to get who doesn't have lottery picks. See, now that throws a whole new twist on it. They may have picked
active playoff roster is the key.
They may have picked up.
And someone is messaging me, I think, on Facebook with the answer. We've already given away the prize, by the way. Yeah, I mean, someone just messaged me, "Hey, the prize was given away already. You were late to the party. You could have won last week if you followed our X page, you know."
And what was their prize again? They got what from
our gift certificate for today's autograph show.
Boy, that would have been nice to have that certificate. But they took
I know. Well, but first of all, as Russell told you last week, as you opened cards on the show before we had on Philip Sims, which I'll be going to see in a few minutes, and the one and only Daryl Wood, you were opening cards and you tried to finagle your way into a gift certificate, and we weren't letting that happen. Russell and I put our foot down and said, "No soup for you." We were the soup Nazis.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't get no soup out of that.
No soup. But you will hear from soup when we take our last break. But go ahead, keep going.
So Denver is out of the mix.
Tie it all together, folks.
And Donovan Mitchell was a lottery pick for Utah. So Cleveland's out of the mix. Philly's out of the mix. New York is out of the mix.
He's got a little scratch board. He's not going to get this, folks. We're going to run out of time before he gets this answer.
Yeah, I'm scratching all the teams out. Jason Tatum.
who we saw live against Matt Coleman and Boo Williams at the Nike EYBL several years back at the
sure
PLEX.
Tatum was a lottery pick. Pretty sure he was a lottery pick. So I'm going to eliminate Boston. I'm going to eliminate Philly. I'm going to eliminate New York.
And people, hey, first of all, I just got a text. People, stop texting me. We've given away the prize. Okay, we're not giving it away again. It's already been given away.
They're trying to get that. They're trying to get that prize. Like that.
They've got it. The people that have texted, they're sitting there going, "What's taking them so long?" They're disappointed.
I didn't look it up like they have. I mean, come on.
Well, I know one of the two people that that texted me did look it up. The other person, I'm not sure if he or she.
No, they looked it up. I'm telling you what they did. They looked it up.
I'm not sure they both did, but I know one did. Yes.
Well, for the sake of time in the show, I'm going to have to pass because can't be anybody in Minnesota, Oklahoma City.
You got a pitch clock. You got a pitch clock violation and strikeout.
Yeah.
The answer is the New York Knicks. No active lottery pick on the roster. Julius Randle is injured right now. He's not on the active roster. Trick question.
No.
Yes, it's a correct answer. There's no. It's correct. He's not on the active playoff roster.
But he's on the roster.
He's not on the active playoff roster. He can't play in a game. He's not activated. He's not on the active playoff roster. He's the only guy on their entire team roster.
Well,
So, yes.
I would take that to court if it involved money.
And win what? What are you going to win? You're going to lose. The jury's going to find you guilty and me innocent. I win. The verdict is in.
The word you're playing with is active, meaning you have to be eligible to play right now.
Guess what? You're about to be inactive on this podcast. Look, now you see him. Now you don't. You're inactive. You're not active. Okay?
Yeah. See, those are the buttons I got to start needing control because where's the dump button for the –
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it, Jack. He agrees with me. He did emphasize active playoff. You're not listening. Put the listening, as Judge Judy used to say. You're not listening. You're not listening. I'm getting Judge Judy to rule you out, throw you out of the courtroom, find you contempt of court.
And as a teacher, I say that every day to the kids like what I call my Hatfield kids, the kids who –
Your Hatfield kids?
The kids that are only there for lunch. I mean, you know.
You got to eat, man. You got to eat.
It was the best subject in class you had for 6 years in a row that you were in high school, and you were consistent. I know that much, and you were always first in the lunch line. But when it came to open up your books, people, you know, he had his hand in the air. He had to go to the bathroom. Problem is, he used the bathroom at his house. Nobody saw him again until lunch. That was Hatfield's. You know, what Kempsville? I think it was at Kempsville High School. Yeah, that he was known as the hall walker.
Home of the Chiefs. Hey, by the way, I thought who you were going to guess was going to be the New Orleans Pelicans.
You know, respectfully, I'm betting on the Pels. I'm not betting. No Johnson. I'm not betting. I'm not betting on anything. I don't own a betting app. None of that. Nah.
I thought that's who you were going to guess, even though it's obvious they've had number one pick in Zion Williamson, which I could have laughed at you if you guessed the Pels, or if you had said you were betting on the Pels. Like Larry Nance did. That was one of the bloopers from this year's playoff press conferences, by the way. Or I guess I was playing when you did that.
Larry Nance Jr. channeling his. I'm not.
Jonte Porter. Yeah, it's Jonte Porter. We're going to take our final timeout in today's shows. We've gone over an hour. We got one more interview clip with a young man, and then we got our mailbag segment to close out the program before I dart off to Princess Anne High. You are watching 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe on Cova Sports TV. But right now, at this time, we're going to hear from some of our sponsors like CHKD, and Ed's going to get some soup today because it's a little cold, and he'll go to Zoop for that. Stay tuned.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Get ready for a season of thrills and excitement. Virginia Beach United invites you to experience the adrenaline of USL League 2 Pro Soccer. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and children 5 and under are free. It's the perfect family outing filled with fun and entertainment. Secure your seats now for a season of unforgettable soccer moments with Virginia Beach United. Don't miss out.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Alrighty, folks, it is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe with us on Cova Sports TV. Before we get to our mailbag, Ed, we have another young man we caught up with from area high school football team who is going to play his college football in the ACC. And you're going to tell us who that is right now, are you not?
I'm going to tell you it's probably on track to be the best wide receiver in the 757. And that is Jaden Anderson of the Green Run Stallions, who has committed to Virginia Tech. So unlike Ari Watford, who's going to go out of state, Jaden Anderson is going to stay in state. Let's see what the young man had to say as he conversed with Matt Hatfield here recently.
All right, here with Green Run class of 2025 wide receiver Jaden Anderson, who recently made his commitment to play his college football for the Hokies of Virginia Tech, where he will be reunited with one of his former Green Run teammates in Keelan Brody Adams, also going up there with a current teammate in Knowledge Herald. Jaden, how's the offseason grind going for you as we're getting closer and closer to kickoff for your senior season? Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's going good, actually, though. I just can't believe that time coming this fast. I'm actually doing track right now, working on speed, and also in a weight room. Working, trying to get better for this off season.
Sure. Now, we know for you, speed is what makes you go as far as you catch the football. You can make plays after the catch. How was the breaking in? Because you started out at Princess Anne, spent the last 2 seasons with Green Run. How was the getting acclimated to this new system? You had to be, licking your chops because people couldn't double you anymore, right?
Yes, sir. When I first got over to Green Run, it was actually somebody in front of me. So I just know I had to come in, work harder, learn the plays, and I got up myself on the field starting spot.
Now, you just made your commitment to Virginia Tech. Why the Hokies? I imagine you had Brody nudging you all the time to go there, right?
Yes, sir.
What was it about the Hokies for you that sold them over other schools?
The Hokies, they showed love since they first offered me. They was one of my second offer. They was one of my first offers. And ever since then, I've been talking to Coach Pride, Coach Mines, the whole coaching staff really, and they all show love. And when I get down, they show as much love as possible.
What's their vision for you? What's their plan that they're talking about as far as how they want to utilize you when you get to Blacksburg?
They just want to put the ball in my hands and let me work.
Sure. Now, what's your favorite route out there? You like getting slants, go routes, underneath? Where are you most lethal in your opinion? What makes you really get salivating for the football when you get this pattern for you in a play?
The whole route tree.
Okay.
Anytime, any route, I get the ball in my hands, it's over with.
Sure. For you now, you and Knowledge going up there at Virginia Tech, how much does it help the comfort factor? You got a guy that's a teammate now, you got one that was your teammate, and it helps you, you're not going somewhere foreign where you don't know anybody. How much does that help you in the whole process?
It helped me a lot because actually me and Knowledge pushes each other. Like we'll work out together, he'll get me, I get him. So it just pushes both of us to be better. And I would just love that to go up there and do that at Virginia Tech.
What are you improving on right now in your craft? As far as senior season coming up, you become really the number one receiver now. Again, which you started your high school career in a lot of ways, but already graduates. What are you kind of trying to take your game up another peg as far as this coming year and implement into your game?
I'm trying to better my route running, and I'm trying to break that record this year. That's all to it.
What record is that you're going for?
Receiving.
Brody. Yeah, so you want to set state yardage, receptions, touchdowns, the whole.
All of it.
Okay, the whole bang there. For this team coming up, it feels like you guys have more pieces in the trenches now. A couple new faces. Definitely. Got Big Tommy up for an anchor in the line. Is that going to be a key factor for y'all to go? Because skill-wise, y'all match up with just about anybody in state, right?
Yes, sir. That's going to be a big factor because we needed in line. We added extra pieces, and it's going to be a great season.
All right.
Working.
Let's do some quick rapid fire. You ready? 5 quick ones. You ready? Favorite candy?
Mambas.
Go to late night snack.
Probably some purple Doritos.
All right. Who's winning the NBA championship this year?
Timberwolves.
You and T-Wolves guy, all right? Edwards. All right. 2 more for you. Favorite NFL player?
Percy Harvin.
All right. Fastest guy on the Arena football team is?
Xavier Worthy. Oh, on my team?
Yeah, your team.
Oh, me.
Okay.
So.
You said Xavier Worthy.
NFL, my fault.
Well, how about fastest guy besides Jane Anderson? Who's the next fastest guy?
On the team?
Yeah, after you. Then you think a little bit. There's got to be a second guy. Who finishes runner-up to you in a race? You do a whole team's running sprints. Who's finishing runner-up?
Kali.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, Jane Anderson, for watching this year and beyond in Blacksburg.
All right, so that was one and only Jaden Anderson as I come up from the floor here. I'm back on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Code with Sports TV. What'd you think of, not me coming up from the floor, but Jaden Anderson's remarks there, Edward?
Now, that's another engaging, personable young man, highly excitable, and it's the way he plays. You watch him play, you're going to get up out of your seat. He's going to make you get out of your seat. He does some early things out there at wide receiver, especially after he catches a ball. He says he's going for all those records. Going to be interested to see if he can get them all, because the thing about a wide receiver, he can't set records until the quarterback gets you the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to catch it. Then you got to, your runs after catches is extremely important, getting your yards after catch. I guess they call it the yak or whatever. But I think that's the kid, again, that get him the ball and then get out of his way. He's going to do some things with it. And I'm happy he picked an in-state school like Virginia Tech. And I think he can keep that commitment all the way through, because sometimes you'll see kids go to a UVA or Virginia Tech and then things don't work out and they got to transfer elsewhere. Or of course, sometimes the opposite is everybody gets starry-eyed about going out of state. It's like the classy thing to do, the sexy thing to do is to go to a team out of state. Things don't work out and then they end up coming back. So I think Jaden has done very well this whole time, and he'll continue to have one heck of a saying. As I think Harry Wofford-Amore could probably be the defensive player of the year. I think Jaden will be up for offensive player of the year. It's just get him the ball. That'll be the key.
And there's some really good 2026 prospects, rising juniors, sophomores, going to be juniors that we'll highlight in the weeks to come, including Travis Johnson of Oscar Smith, wide receiver, who actually played some basketball, as you know, Ed, this year. But we'll highlight them as we move forward. And we'll also put up a list of commitments for this 2025 class for folks that haven't checked it out. We'll have it up on our VIP board on virginiapreps.com. And you mentioned got to have a quarterback. They've got one agreed run a dual sport athlete in Kassan Farrar, who's got a long list of offers and schools, and he might be making his commitment pretty soon. So keep an eye peeled for that. We're going to get maybe also another athlete that's made his commitment on the show from Atlantic Shores. I know one of your favorites that we talked to a couple of years ago, Ed, was Caden Beatty, who came on the show. Defensive lineman Chris Higgins made his commitment last night to William & Mary, so we'll effort getting him on. Before we close out our program now here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, Cova Sports TV, let's do our mailbag. Are you ready, sir?
Let's open some mail.
Let's open some mail. All right, here's our first mailbag question for today, and it comes from Derek in Smithfield. Who are the football players to know as 7-on-7 and team camps get underway? Well, we highlighted a few of them. I'll throw out a couple more. The running back who got one of our Chicho's Pizza players of the week, and that being none other than Javon Ford from Kings Fork High School. Granby's got an underrated kid on the skill positions in Iman Cuffey. He had like 7 or 8 interceptions a season ago. And a couple more for you. Phoebus has got a young man, Najee Gay. Read more about him on virginiapreps.com by our man Will Garlick, who was at the Emory and Henry camp where Najee Gay stood out. But there's a few names, but we'll highlight more as we move forward. But there's just a few for you to, as they say, tickle the fancy. Oh, you got one as you raise your hand. Give us one.
I want to know, as I asked the dude who should know this kind of stuff, because you're up and honest. Going into this year, who might be the top, in your opinion, quarterback high school?
Well, I think you have to start with the reigning Class 5 state player of the year from Maury and Artori Newkirk. I think you begin with him. I think you can definitely make a case for Kassan Farrar, who I just mentioned, from Green Run. And then there's some other youngsters that are pretty good. Sophomore, Oscar Smith, Lonnie Andrews, the third, Maricus Banks from Phoebus, good one. I'll give you most underrated might be the quarterback at Salem, Jason Scooter Williams. Love the nickname Scooter. He can scoot out of the pocket. He's a really underrated. He's been putting up numbers for a few years. I think he gets forgotten about. Salem's a good program. They haven't won championships lately, like say a Phoebus or a Maury. but he's going to put up big numbers if he stays healthy. Watch out for him. So he might, and he's got good receivers too. Fabian Wells catch the football for him. He's got no offers. So he's one that I'd circle as well. Could very well lead the area in passing. If it's not Newkirk or Farrar, we know those offenses are high explosive. Keep an eye on Williams. So those will be my gold, silver, and bronze picks right there. The Commodores triggerman Newkirk, the Stallions triggerman and Farrar, and the Sun Devils triggerman and Williams. There you go. Like that. And by the way, Derek also sent in, we only got a screen here, one of the questions, our man Derek. Updates about spring sports as playoffs are near. Would love for us to do a possible remote show from Todd Stadium for track. We'd love that if the powers that be could ever get on the man that's in charge of that. You don't mind going if again the technical situations allow us to do so. All right, what's our next mailbag question? All right, you want to read this one? Go ahead.
Mailbag question number 2. Like you and myself, that's me, how low pay for coaches in the 757. Good coaches are going to other states for better pay and facilities. You get what you pay for, by Henry K.
This is a good question for you. I'll defer to you on this one.
Well, Henry, the way coaches' pays are done in the area, it's basically a percentage. I can speak to myself. My coaching stipend is $4,200 before taxes. I get paid, I think it's twice in a season. And at $4,000 after taxes, take 25% out of that, you're getting what, 3,000 something. It's a joke. We don't even talk about it. We don't even remember it. And I'm sitting here, I have to think hard about it, how much it was and when do we get paid. It's mixed into our regular teaching salary. If you're a non-teacher, and by the way, some people don't know this, you can coach in the state of Virginia and not be a teacher. You don't have to be a teacher. It's preferred that teachers coach, but you can get somebody from the outside and they would get a separate check.
A lot of people don't know that. You don't have to be in the building per se, although it's preferred and recommended in a lot of cases. I know you've been a big proponent of that. We've had different.
Yeah, I would not really want to coach unless I was in the building. Right. You got to be around your players. Plus, I'm a teacher by trade. I'm actually a teacher more so than a coach. Coach is just a title. Teaching is what I do, and you teach as a coach. And I want to be looked upon by the staff as a teacher. It's not good to come into a building strictly as a coach. Teachers kind of look at you as a nobody, that all you care about is winning and you don't really care about kids. It's out there, and I don't want to come under that tag. So I want to be treated as a teacher. But, as far as coaches leaving, going to other states for better pay, better facilities, I don't know if I would really say
Georgia,
that.
if he's referencing Georgia and Texas, those states are bigger and have more money and funds, and that's just going to happen. So
yeah, in those states, you could get hired as a head football coach on a high school level for 30, 40, 50, 60,000 a year and just coach, i.e. basketball in Kentucky and Indiana. I know some people. I've worked with some people on the camp circuit that all they do is coach, and they're making 40, 50,000. They sign like a 4-year deal. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. But in Virginia, it will never happen.
Question number 3. We got 2 more after this. I hope this one's not. All right, we go to Norfolk. Chris R. wants to know, do you think J.J. Redick will be the next head coach of Lakers? I hope not, but I did hear and read yesterday that the odds shifted from plus 180 to minus 175 for him to be the next coach. Like, what are we talking about? And by the way, the Suns hired Coach Bood, but I'm not a big fan of Mike Budenholzer. Regular season coach, he's terrific. Playoffs comes, he gags like a dog. Okay, that's just, I know you say you won a championship. So did Frank Vogel. He's out of a job. And Budenholzer, they won in spite of him. Okay, he's a great regular season coach. Playoffs, he's half clueless. He wants to coach the same way, which you can't do. If they hire Redick with the Lakers, it'll be a disgrace, a sham, a mockery, a disgraceful shamockery. It should not happen. I would give Rajon Rondo the gig before I give it to him. But I also heard another name, the assistant coach for the Nuggets, Ed. Oh, gosh, I got to pull up their staff. I heard he might be the guy now that gets the job as I pull up their coaching staff right now. Rick Adelman's son, David Adelman. Don't be surprised if he gets the job, and he's probably deserving of it.
I think somebody's going to snag a Denver assistant soon enough because they've been winning. And that's usually the trend as you take people off. Charlotte Hornets just named Charles Lee assistant Boston Celtics. Don't agree with the pick, but the youngster will get a chance to run his first program in the NBA, see what he can do. But tough gig in Charlotte. And, of course, I love the Hornets, but it's going to take a little bit to get them going. It's not a big destination for free agents. That's the problem. J.J. Redick, if he coaches anything other than youth basketball, will be an absolute joke. And I have to say that because I have animosity towards J.J. for his comment about plumbers, firemen, former NBA.
I agree. And listen, he was a great Cave Spring High School legend in our state. Got mad props to what a shooter he was in terms of high school legendary, and went on to Duke, play in the NBA. But I think he thinks he's bigger than what he is. And I'll be honest with you, Tim Legler, who we've had on the show before, I'm not saying because we've had Legler on and we haven't had Redick. Tim Legler did the game last night with Nuggets and Wolves. He is so far and away much better than JJ on the TV. He is a great analyst. I think Tim Legler is every bit to the NBA coverage what Jay Billis is to college hoops coverage, if not better. He's great. JJ, clam up sometime. I'm tired of JJ. But you know what? Part of me says I hope he gets it so he falls flat on his face.
Well, the thing about it is, I keep telling everybody, and I'm going more and more with this, the best candidate for the Lakers job, without question, and tell me is LeBron James.
Yeah, you keep saying that. All right, we got two more here. Tim, our buddy Tim Wolf in Virginia Beach wants to know what city has the most winningest coaches in the state of Virginia. I know you followed up with a question to him. I don't know if he answered it. I don't know if he means in terms of all time, presently. My first inclination is, as good as Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk are with their coaches, I'm going to go to Hampton. Because if you go to Hampton, right now you have Jeremy Blunt, Shonda Bailey, Eric Brown have all won state championships in the last year. And then if you go historically, you're talking about guys like Mike Smith. You're talking about Walter Brower. You're talking about, my gracious, who am I leaving out? Baseball. Oh, the late, great Danny Mitchell. I mean, the number of coaches in the city of Hampton, between Hampton, Bethel, Kickitan, Rivas, Conrad. You go through the list. The late, great Bill D. Hello. Guys that aren't with us anymore. That would be my first gut, would be to go to city of Hampton. How about you?
I would say when you look at, I think Tim is referencing state championships mostly.
Well, it's still the answer's still Hampton. The answer doesn't change. You can change it, but the answer doesn't change.
Right, Hampton's up there.
Yeah.
Martinsville, because of boys basketball, Hall.
But they don't have as many schools though, Ed. So it's got to be a city that has more than one, two schools. Like if you want to go Danville, Martinsville, they have tradition, prestige, history. We're not knocking other parts of the state that have that. Richmond has that. Different. Now Richmond's a big city. You're talking about counties. If you go entire body of Richmond's going to probably win it. So it depends on how you categorize. So hopefully Tim will follow up with another follow-up question. He watches this. We'll get some clarification. And then we close out with our buddy Jack in Virginia Beach's question. Fate of the universe on the line. The Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. Who do you want taking the shot? I'm guessing shot at Ed Young. Me. No, the basketball shot. I'm so funny. If right now, all time, people are going to say Michael Jordan or Reggie Miller. I'll be honest with you. He's made two of his playoffs, and he played a big game last night. And I know he's not like Jamal Murray. He's got onions. He's clutch. So I know that sounds like a wild pick. People say you got to do LeBron, KD, Steph Curry. But those guys miss from time to time. Jamal Murray's got Joker, and you got to guard Joker. I might go Jamal Murray. Who you going with?
I was going to say me taking, but I misread the question. I thought he said, who's taking the shot at the death being pointed at Earth? And I was going to take the shot on Hatfield, like when he's out walking the dogs, so I wouldn't hit.
Hey, if you take a shot at me when I'm walking the dogs, who's going to bring the puppies home? Why would you do that?
Their own way home.
No, they won't. They'll go chasing a bunny rabbit or a squirrel at 3:30 in the morning. Trust me, I'll tell you that story in next week's show. Wake me up at 3:30 in the morning, go find Snuggles out in the yard looking for a stupid bunny rabbit.
Oh, you got to love the puppies.
Get the puppy set, as Bill Raftery says.
Taking the
Your
final
dog was
shot.
barking, by the way. We need to end the show. He wants to be fed. You haven't fed him yet.
Yeah, my dog's over at the door wanting to get out. Who wanted to take the final shot in the game? You know, we always think of this as somebody taking a deep three or whatever. We don't think in terms of he got to the hole. If you're talking about somebody who's going to find a way to make that shot, I'm going Michael Jordan. He's not the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA.
Prime Dirk. Dan says prime Dirk.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. That's that fall away, that strong fall away That is not a bad one. But Michael's going to get to the hole. He's going to find a way to get that shot off.
I'm not picking Jordan. I'm not picking the Jordan with the Martian gun pointed at me. I'm not doing it because that's just personal, and I'm vengeful like that. I'm not doing it.
That's because he smacked your Utah Jazz.
Didn't smack him. Dick Bavetta smacked us in Game 6. That's what
come on. Now you sound like Rick Carlisle. Stop it. Bavetta did not have you miss those foul shots and not execute. So stop.
I'm late for this 7-on-7. I got to get rolling here, but we thank all of you that tuned into the show. Again, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll do more next week here as we move to the 18th of May. And Edward, it was fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk more sports with all the great people out there in internet land on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.
Everybody have a great week.
We'll see you later next week. Take care. Thanks for watching to 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Enjoy.
Thank you.